Get started on your back, please. Lie down in a Shavasana, or if you'd like to take Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet touching and the knees wide, you could always support the knees with pillows, blocks, bolsters, blankets, or like the outer thighs to support the hips. You could always slide the heels further away from you, opening up that diamond shape of the legs to decrease the intensity of the stretch, or pull the heels closer for more intensity, or just legs long like Shavasana. Or if you do want to open the heart a little bit, you could put a block or a little something between the shoulder blades to lift and open that space. Once you find yourself on your back in a comfortable starting posture, close the eyes. Start to notice the breath moving through the body. Start to notice the pace of the breath, and can you slow it down? Notice the depth of the breath, and can you deepen it? And if you have a specific intention you would like to cultivate, you can think of that now. And I'll offer the intention from Gerard Way, who says, being happy doesn't mean that everything is perfect. It means that you've decided to look beyond the imperfections. Maybe letting that be a guide for your practice, maybe relating to the physical poses or the emotional feelings or happenings as you take some big breaths. We'll take the pranayama of box breathing. So it's a breath retention practice. If that brings up any anxiety, then you can just come back to a natural breath where you're not holding the breath. But the first couple rounds, you'll do a 4 count. So 4 count in, pause for 4, 4 count out, pause for 4, and continue. So inhaling for 4, pausing 4, exhaling 4, pausing again. After several rounds, if that's comfortable for you, you can increase the ratio to maybe 6 counts in, out, and continuing. So I'll count you off for the first round. Exhale, and then inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in and keep going, counting to 4. Taking one more round and finishing on your next exhale. And when you finish the last round, just finding a natural breath or your ujjayi breath, breathing in and out the nose, constricting the back of the throat, starting to sound like the waves of the ocean, deep, full breaths. And from your back, just stretch the legs long, stretch the arms long, and take a full body stretch. And then draw the right knee into the chest, hands to the shin, give it a nice squeeze, and start to move it a little bit side to side, maybe moving in a circle, or maybe just getting into the parts that feel a little sticky and tight and staying there longer. Letting the head, neck, and shoulders stay relaxed on the back. And taking the knee across the midline, passing it to the left, and reaching the right arm away from you just for a gentle twist to begin. Use the left hand's leverage to pull the knee to the left. Look over to your right, and then draw the knee back to center and find a half happy baby. So sole of the foot to the sky, right hand to right ankle or foot, and the knee towards the armpit outside the rib cage. Maybe stir the knee around a little bit here, stir the hips and the foot. And then hands to the back of the thigh. Just extend the heel towards the sky and press the thigh back into the hands. Let that weight of the thigh going into the hands release the lower back and the sacrum further to the earth. And bend the knee and extend a couple of times. And then release the right leg down, let it be heavy next to the left. Just notice the body. And draw the left knee in, give it a nice squeeze on the shin, hug it in, compress, and then start to move it around. Doesn't have to match the other side. Noticing any imperfections without judging them. And continuing to breathe. You're going clockwise, maybe switching to counterclock. And then guide the left knee and thigh over towards the right. Extend the left arm wide away from you. Look over to the left. Big breath into the twist. And then slowly come back to center, half happy baby. Hand to foot, foot to hand. Press the hand into the foot and the foot into the hand. Maybe the right hand on the right thigh to kind of coax the hip towards the earth if it's popping back up. Soften in the face and soften in the jaw. And then hands behind the thigh with the left knee bent, and then extend the heel towards the sky. And just let the weight of the leg go into the hands. The arms can straighten if that works for you. Start to bend and extend the left knee a couple of times. And let the left heel float all the way to the earth. One more full body stretch. Reach and grow long, and then pull both knees into the chest and give yourself a hug. Start to rock side to side, massaging the lower back, maybe finding little circles, and then start to rock forward and back. And make a choice of how you want to come to your shins and come onto your knees, maybe roll into the fetal position and pressing up, or rock and rolling with a little bit of momentum, coming onto your hands and knees for tabletop. Ooh, somehow this got out of focus for a moment. Just that. Spread the fingers wide, index fingers facing forward, and just shift the weight around, keeping the knees and the palms in place, but feel the weight shifting from the finger pads to the heels, from the pinky to the thumb. Really clawing the mat like you're holding a basketball, and the whites, the knuckles are a little bit lifted so that the pads of the hands, the finger pads turn white, the nails turn white. Switch directions if you're going one way. And then start to go a little deeper in those circles from corner to corner, all the way up and back into the heels and the hips. Increasing the distance that you're traveling. Circling in both directions. And then starting to eventually find a neutral tabletop. Pull the belly button to spine so the core is engaged. And stand up on your knees and your shins, shoulders over the hips. Extend the arms back and reach the heart forward like you're in a chair pose. Lift the heels of the hands, the pinky fingers a little higher. So palms are facing each other. Just pulse them a little higher as the crown of head reaches forward, getting into the triceps. Lift and squeeze the shoulder blades for 3, 2, 1. And then inhale, reach up, arms forward, palms down, shoulders and wrists in line. Like a zombie, just keep the arms here and lean back as far as feels okay for you. supporting yourself with your thighs, your core. Inhale forward, exhale back into that chair-like posture. Extend the arms and lift the forearms, little pulses, squeeze the shoulder blades together, just lifting the palms an inch higher for 3, 2, 1. Back into the zombie position and reach the hips back, keeping one line from the shoulders down to the knees, just a little diagonal shift. Inhale back up. We're going to take it 2 more times. Heart forward. Lift the heels of the hands. Extend back up, shoulders over wrists, and then lean back. Maybe go a little deeper this time, challenging yourself. Inhale, pull forward. Exhale, chair pose with the knees down. Pulse the fingers, pulse the wrists, the forearms for 3, 2, 1. Last time in zombie, extend back. And then come forward, hands down, tap out the feet. Shake out the wrists a little bit. We're going to come into knee pile. So extend your right toes back first. Just stretch the heel away from you. Bend the knee and circle open the hip. Make a little space in your hip. Then take the right knee towards the right, tap it off the mat, and then take it behind the leg to the left. Tap it to the right, and then take it behind the left knee to the right. 2 more times. Tap wide, tap behind, tap wide, tap behind. This time, keep it here. Extend the knees, or keep the knees here. Extend the heels and the shins and the feet wide so that you could start to walk back into this hip stretch. It might start to feel a little intense. You could use a pillow under your left glute if you need. Shoulders over the hips and choose your arm variation. You could take a stretch with the triceps. You could wrap and give yourself a hug or frill eagle. You could start to fold forward a little bit if that feels good. Also find the bind if you're doing the tricep stretch. If you're lengthening the spine, keep lifting. If you're folding forward, keep releasing the weight of the head. Couple more breaths. One more inhale. And then release the arms, break them apart. Start to walk yourself forward so that you have your weight on your knees again. Tuck your toes and lift your legs like you're in a twisted downward facing dog with the legs on opposite sides of the mat. A short down dog. Walk to the right. Walk your hands to the right. Spin your heels, spin your toes all the way facing the back of your mat. Heels come down. Feet are wider than the mat and take a wide-legged forward fold. Bend the knees as deeply as you want. Grab for opposite elbows and sway here in your ragdoll. Release the hands down. Take a halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Put the weight into your finger pads, lift the heels and start to spin the heels towards the left. Walk your hands all the way to the right. Knees will begin to bend and eventually you'll bring your knees down. This time, the right knee is in front of the left leg. Shins wide, ankles wide. Walk your hips back to find the second side of knee pile. Shoulders over the hips. You could take the same or a different arm variation. Couple more big breaths. Exhale, extend your arms, shake them out. Walk your hands forward and extend the left leg, bend the knees, circle it around, smooth that hip. Take the left knee to the wide left side of the mat and then cross it behind the right. Couple times, left knee to the left knee to the right. Tapping the knee. One more tap to each side. And then extend the left toes to the back of the mat, left leg long, toes to the earth. Just feel the calf stretching. And then when you're ready, 2 knees down, tabletop, tuck the toes, lift and hover the knees and the heels, floating tabletop, starting to engage the core, reach the crown of head forward. See if there's just a tiny space between the knees and the shins and the earth. And then tap both knees at the same time and lift them. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Twice more. Gentle tap and lift. Gentle tap and lift. Knees to the earth. Release the belly, look up. Cow pose. Curl and round the spine, tuck the chin, cat pose. One more, slowly to cow. And slowly to cat. Neutral tabletop, tuck the toes, hover the knees. This time, spin the heels to the right, toes to the left, and knees point to the left. Staying in your tabletop type shape, come back to center. Other side, heels left, knees right. Back to center, one more to each side, to the left. Center, to the right, feeling the obliques. Back to center, lower the knees, take a breath. Step one foot back and the other foot back for plank pose. Press into the finger pads. Tap your right hand to your left shoulder and keep your hips stable. Right hand down. Left hand to right shoulder, left hand to the mat. Keep going, slowly side to side. See if you can keep your hips stable. Maybe walk your feet wider or pull them narrow to challenge yourself. One more tap on each side. And then from plank, right hand to left hip under the body. Left hand to right hip. Keep going, opposite hand to opposite hip, stabilizing through the core. Keep breathing, one more on each side. This time, right hand to left heel, hips go high like down dog. Reach back for your thigh or your calf. Inhale, shift forward, plank. Left hand reach up, back, and under to the right leg. Tap. Couple times on each side. Just reach the opposite hand across for the opposite leg and look under the armpit, shifting through plank to find the second side. One more on each side. And then find your downward facing dog. Move it around, pedal the knees, shake the head. Inhale, shift forward to plank. Bend the knees deeply like you're coming into hovering table, but then shoot the hips back towards the heels. You're in a floating child's pose now. Lift the hips high, down dog. We'll do that a couple times. Float forward, shoulders over wrists. Plank. Knees lower towards the earth, but hover them. Slide back, shift the weight back. Spread the fingers wide, hovering child, and then straighten the legs, reach the heels away from you, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, knees bend, slide back. Inhale, hips high. One more time with your breath. Finding the wave of the spine and making your way back to downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, walk one foot in front of the other, finding a forward fold at the top of the mat. So feet about hip width distance apart, this time in your forward fold. Take a halfway lift to lengthen. And exhale to fold. Inhale to rise all the way to standing mountain pose. Palms press and pull them to heart center. Close the eyes. Exhale, release the hands. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward. Halfway lift. Plant the palms, step back to plank. Take our first flow, lower the knees, chest and chin, elbows stay close to the rib cage. Untuck the toes, inhale for cobra. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes, press into plank, or use your knees to press into the tabletop. And either from plank or table, lower the knees, hover, keep them off the mat, knees off the mat, shift back, floating child's pose. And then lower the knees, take them wider, as wide as the mat. You can keep the toes tucked for the stretch of the feet, or you can untuck them, child's pose. Take a couple of breaths here in stillness, or maybe roll the forehead side to side, feeling the pressure on the third eye. And when you're ready, tuck your toes and make your way to downward facing dog again. From down dog, this time, if you feel ready, if you feel warm, bend your knees, lift your heads, and hop lightly to a forward fold. Take a halfway lift when you get there, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, root to rise to standing, press the palms, pull them to heart center. We're gonna move through this sun salutation a little swifter. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge and fold. Half lift. Step, or if you want to play with hopping back with bent elbows, land softly. Either knees, chest, chin, or your chaturanga, elbows stay in 90 degrees. They bend. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, down dog. Exhale. Full breath in. And let it go. Let's take one more on your own. Bend the knees or walk to forward fold at the top of the mat. Lengthen the spine. Release. Inhale, rise. Pull the hands to your heart. So you can go through one last flow, one last vinyasa meeting in down dog. Add or subtract whatever you want. You're doing it right, whatever you choose. Just honoring the imperfections. On your inhale, lift the arms. Exhale and go through your flow. Taking your time to meet in downward facing dog. When you reach down dog, lower the knees all the way to the earth. Knees and shins come down. Inhale, rise up onto your knees again. So shoulders over the hips. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm back. Twisting open. Right hand to the sacrum, left hand to the sky. Start to lean back for the heart opener. If you're really open in back bends, you could walk your right hand towards your right heel. One more breath in half camel. And then exhale, lower the hips to the heels, palms to the thighs, tuck your chin, take a breath. Inhale, rise up again. Reach the arms up. Exhale, right arm forward, left arm back. Taking an open arm twist. Relax the shoulders, spread through fingertips. Left hand to sacrum, reach the right arm hug. Start to lean your heart back. Maybe left hand to left heel. Opening the throat, the chest, big inhale. And exhale, hips come to the heels, palms to the thighs, tilt the chin down, close the eyes for a moment, hero's pose. Inhale, rise up, arms up, hands to the hips, and step your right foot forward. Inhale, reach the arms up, coming into your low lunge. Go a little deeper, getting into the left hip flexor, deepening in the lunge. And then right hand to left wrist and take a side body stretch, leaning to the right. Inhale back to center. Replace the right knee with the left, so switch sides. Maybe hands to the hips to start, squaring the hips off, and then extend the arms, but relax the shoulders. Go a little deeper into the lunge. And imagine you're pulling your legs towards each other. So left leg back, right leg forward. And feel how that strengthens and engages the legs. Left hand to right wrist. Inhale, lengthen, and take a little side bend to the left. Bring the right side body long. Inhale, back to center. Left knee comes down to meet the right. Palms down, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. From your down dog, look to your hands, bend your knees, walk or hop to the top of the mat. Take a half lift. Feet can come together or keep them wide apart. Chair pose, sink low, arms up. And take a little bounce. Just lower the hips, little tiny bounce. Spread through the fingers. As you bounce, can you go a little lower with the hips? We're going to eventually come to a one-legged mountain. Couple more bounces. The right foot is going to be the solid base and the left knee is going to lift. So inhale, lift the left thigh, reach the arms up. One-legged mountain. Start to hinge forward and extend the left leg back. High lunge. Big step to the back of the mat. Arms up. Sweep the arms back like airplane. We've been here before with the arms, so pulse the arms. A little lift. Reach through the fingers. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Right knee directly over the ankle. Lift the left thigh. 2 more pulses. And then reach the right arm, arms up, left hand down, right arm up for an easy twisting lunge. Roll the right wrist around, shake out the fingers. And then walk the right hand down inside the right foot. Start to walk the hands to the back of the mat. Skandasana, deep lunge to the back. Left knee bends, right toes can lift. Maybe the left heel has to stay off the earth. Either using your hands or not, hands could be wide or at heart center. Skandasana to the front of the mat, right knee bends. You could also just take a low lunge or a side lunge, not a deep low lunge, to the back of the mat. This time, turn all 10 toes to the back of the mat. Lift your back heel so you're in a runner's lunge. Extend the arms back, airplane arms. And we're going to step into chair facing the back of the mat. So look at your big toe, your left big toe. Step the right foot to meet it. Inhale, arms up. Chair pose. We're going to take a big exhale and sigh out the energy like a ha, couple times. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, ha. Inhale, lift. 2 more. Ha. 1 more. Lift the arms. Ha. Inhale, lift. Stay here in your chair pose for a moment. And then rise up, one-legged mountain, left knee lifts. Start to circle the left leg open like you did from tabletop, but circle it back. Going to be a big step into horse stance, goddess pose. So left leg opens up to the left, big step wide. Right forearm to right thigh, left arm over the ears, side body stretch. Relax the head and the neck. Switch sides, left forearm to left thigh, reach the right arm. 1 more time to the right. Maybe lift a heel, see how that feels. And 1 more time to the left, but this time turn your toes, spin your left toes forward and right toes in so you're in side angle. So just adjusting the feet from goddess into side angle. Left arm to left thigh, reach right arm over the ear, press to the outer edge of the right foot. Maybe a wider stance than horse. Take a big breath in. Take a big breath out. Inhale, rise all the way up, reverse triangle. Straighten the left leg, reach up and back. And then cartwheel the hands to the mat. Step back, travel through your vinyasa. Always the option to skip the vinyasa and meet in down dog or take a child's pose as you travel through. When you reach down dog, take a full breath out and a full breath in. And maybe another audible sigh or ha or out the mouth. One more breath like that. Exhale. Inhale. Let it go. Lift to the hands, bend the knees, hop to the top of the mat. Half lift, reset the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees, chair pose. Start really low. We've already been here. Bounce a little bit. With control, just lower and lift the hips. We're going to take the second side. So the left foot will be the base this time. When you're ready, press into the left foot, rise into one-legged mountain. Relax the shoulders down the back. Picture your high crescent lunge. So hinging, reach the arms back, reach the foot back. Eventually finding your arms by your hips and then begin to pulse them. Airplane arms, squeezing the shoulder blades. Inhale, arms rise as you transition, right hand down, left hand high. Roll the left wrist around in your twist. Lower the left hand inside the left foot and start to walk and turn the heels, coming into a deep, either just a side lunge or a deep skandasana squat. With or without the hands, skandasana to the front of the mat. With or without the hands, skandasana to the back. Bring the hands down and turn all the way to the back of the mat. Right toes forward, left toes forward, runner's lunge. Rise up with the fingers along the waist. Reach the crown of head forward. Big step, left toe meets the right, arms up. And then on your exhale, 3 times, let it out. Ha, ha, ha. Inhale, rise up the right knee this time. Start to circle the right leg back. Open up the hips. We're going to turn to the right. Step the right foot to the top of the mat. Goddess squat. Get low. Left forearm to left thigh. Reach your right arm over the ear. Right forearm to right thigh. Left arm over the ear. Again, to the back of the mat. Maybe the heel pops up. Deepening the stretch. And then this time, as you bring the right forearm, turn the toes forward, left toes angle in, side angle. Find the space in the right side body. One more breath in side angle. Root through the feet, straighten the right leg, reverse triangle. Reach up and back. Round through all 4 corners of the feet. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Step the right foot back. Option for the vinyasa. Downward facing dog. From down dog, lower the knees to the earth. Keep the shins and the heels together. Lower the hips down to the heels and then slide the forearms along the shins, but palms up, forehead to the mat, embryo pose. Just release the shoulders, find a little compression, close the eyes. We'll just take about 4 breaths here. When you're ready, begin to walk the hands forward again. Make your way through tabletop, maybe a little bit of cat-cow, side cat-cow. Freedom to move from hands and knees, moving the hips and the neck. And then traveling into down dog as you're ready. We're going to take that same or similar sequence option to add on. So look to your hands, bend your knees, hop to the top of the mat. Half lift. Release, chair pose, arms up. Sweep the arms back. Little bounce. One-legged bounce in. Inhale, rise up, left knee lifts. Slowly transitioning, find warrior 3 just as a transition, and then bend the right knee, step back, high lunge. Sweep the arms back when you have your balance, airplane arms. No pulsing this time, just reach back. Left hand down, right hand up. You can stay here, you could take a modified side angle, rolling the left heel down, turning the right toes, or you could stack right foot on top of left. You could also come to the forearm. Optional side angle, lift the hips. Then start to draw the right knee back towards the chest and step it back to the top of the mat. If it didn't get there, help it to get there. Coming back into the twist. Right hand down inside the right foot. Skandasana to the back of the mat. Maybe you try floating the hands. Skandasana to the front or just a side lunge. Skandasana to the back. Turn all the toes forward. Runner's lunge. Inhale, high lunge. Step into your chair pose. Couple pulses just to wash that out. And then lift the left knee up. Open it to the left, goddess. Big step. Inhale, straighten the legs, star pose this time. Turn the toes forward and let's take a wide-legged fold, continuing to open up the hips. Wider than from our warm-up. Take the feet out wide, head forward. Put a little more weight into the toes, release the head and the neck. One more breath. And then take a halfway lift with that length. Turn the heels in and toes out a little bit and rise back up into star. Bend the knees back into goddess. Left forearm to left thigh and transition to side angle. So turn the right toes in, left toes forward. Take your time setting up your foundation. This time in side angle, you could find the half bind. Or maybe the full bind. If you have the full bind, option is step the right toes to the left toes and lift the left heel. Option to rise up into tree or bird of paradise, keeping the bind. You can always play with kicking the left foot away from you. Taking a moment to stand tall and steady. And then slowly bring your left foot back down. Somehow step your right foot back and open up, reverse your triangle pose. Feel the length now, again, back in the limbs. Start to bend your left knee for warrior 2. Right hand to right hip. Option for side or for half moon. Floating and balancing in half moon or staying in your warrior two. Maybe you float the left fingers away from the mat. From half moon, picture your warrior two. Slowly bend the left knee, step back, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands to the mat. Step the left foot back, plank pose. Optional vinyasa. From down dog, look to your hands, bend your knees. Hop to the top of the mat, land soft. Halfway lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold and bend the knees, chair pose. Feet wide or feet together. Just the pulses. Reach the arms back. Press into the left foot, find your foundation, lift the right knee. Moving through a warrior three, so not holding it, but just finding it for a moment. And then stepping back. Sweep the arms back, no pulsing this time, just find your lunge. Right hand down, left hand up. Option is stay here or any kind of side plank variation. You could heel to the left foot towards the center of the mat for a kickstand, or you could stack left foot on top of the right. Strong through the right hand, pressing out of the right shoulder. Lift and hover the left foot. If it's stacked, draw the left knee back to the chest and step it back to the left top of the mat. Left hand inside the left foot. Start to walk towards center all the way to the back, bend the right knee. Shift the weight into the left foot, bend the left knee. Deep lunge back of the mat and then turn the hips, turn the toes, turn the shoulders to the back of your mat. Lift the arms up, float. Step the left foot forward, just bounce a couple times and then press off the left foot, lift the right knee. Open up into goddess, get low. Find star pose, reach tall. Shake out the limbs a little bit here, hips and shoulders can release. And then recommit to your goddess squat. Left forearm, left thigh, reach back. Maybe the right heel lifts. And then transition into side angle, turn the right toes forward, left toes in. This time in your side angle, you could bend the left elbow, bring it behind the back, grabbing your shorts or your thigh or finding a full bind. One side might be more or less open. If you have the bind, see if you can keep it as you step the left foot to the top of the mat. The right heel will lift. Start to float the right toes, bring it up into tree, or maybe you can try bird of paradise on this side. Shoulders over the hips. As you're ready, very slowly release the right foot back down and step the left foot back. Move into your triangle pose, reverse up and back. And then begin to rebend the right knee. Strong in the legs again. Maybe left hand to hip for the transition into Ardha Chandrasana, half moon. Grab a block or a prop if you need something on your right hand or under your right shoulder. Maybe the left hand lifts high. Imagine you're pressing into something. Maybe someone's pulling you up towards the ceiling so that your right fingers can hover. We meet in a warrior two. So step to the back of the mat again. Release the shoulders, spread the fingers wide. Cartwheel the hands down, step it back, vinyasa. You made it. Downward facing dog when you're ready. From down dog, lift the right leg high, bend the knee, open up, shake out the right leg, the right knee, the right ankle. Flip the dog if you're looking for another heart opener or a wild thing. And then dogs that flipped, come back around and slide the right shin forward. Half pigeon, left leg long. Lift the chest and then start to fold into sleeping pigeon. Use your next breath to begin to press into your palms and lift the hips, shoulders over the hips. Roll onto the right hip and then slide the left leg all the way forward like tree pose on the mat. So the right knee is bent, left leg is long. Left forearm inside left thigh, reach the right arm over. One more side, body stretch, down, stretching through the right hip, through the right fingers. And then begin to sweep the right arm up and over, planting the heel of the hand outside the right hip. Rock star pose. Sweep the left arm over the ear and lift the hips forward so you're on your right shin. Exhale, slowly lower the hips back down and make your way back to downward facing dog. For the second side, coming into our final down dog, lift the left leg high, bend the knee, open it up. Keep moving the left ankle and hip around, or maybe flip the dog, weight goes into the right hand, left toes reach back. And then eventually left hand comes down and the left shin slides through. You could always take pigeon on the back if that's more supportive. With the long spine, begin to fold forward. Take one more breath here. Start to press into your hands. And let the weight come to your left hip. Let the right leg slide all the way forward, keeping it long, left knee bent. Forearm, right forearm into thigh, left arm over the ear. Letting the head and the neck release. And then sweep the left arm up and outside the left hip. Reach the right arm over the ear, lift the hips forward, rock star pose. Very slowly descend the hips back to the earth. Slide the left leg and the right leg forward and bend the knees. Coming towards the center of your mat so you have space to roll all the way onto your back. Slowly pull the knees into the chest and give them a squeeze. Rock and roll a little bit here. Massaging the sacrum. Bringing the palms to the kneecaps and starting to circle them around, either together or separate, clockwise or counterclockwise. And then just extend the arms long, still holding the kneecaps. Just lengthen the arms, releasing the sacrum, head, neck, and shoulders. Finding stillness while you hold the knees. Then bend the elbows again, draw the knees outside the rib cage, holding onto the shins. Stay here or half or full happy baby, hands to the feet. Break it apart, move it around. Last chance to audibly exhale or flutter the lips, or ha, or let it go. Last little bit of movement before your resting pose. If there's anything your body is asking for that involves an active posture, take that now. Or begin to gather the limbs, give yourself another hug, squeeze, and then open up. Take up space for your final Shavasana. Closing the eyes, just arriving here. Arriving in a place where you can be still, getting any last fidgets out. And I'll give you a break from my voice and guide you out in a few minutes. Take a deeper breath in and a deeper breath out. And choose to stay in Shavasana for longer or find some small, gentle movement in the body to reawaken. The Wabi-sabi Japanese philosophy of flawed beauty says that beauty is beauty that is imperfect, impermanent, incomplete, looking for beauty within the imperfections of life, being at peace with the universal cycle of growth and decay, celebrating the cracks and crevices and all the other marks that time, weather, and loving use leave behind. So gathering up your body in some way to give it another embrace and thank it for all that it's capable of. And eventually rolling to the side and finding a comfortable seat to close together with a breath. Finding your sit bones evenly under you, sitting tall, and exhaling out. Inhaling to fill up fully and give it back. Beautiful practice. Nice work. As always, hydrate. Thank you for practicing.